Welcome to the Tux Care stream. It's your boy, Senior Developer Advocate at Tux Care, Chris DeMars. Hopefully, you're staying hydrated. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good early morning, wherever you're tuned in from. Hopefully, you're tuned in and you're checking it out. Hopefully, you're staying hydrated with whatever you are drinking out there, your preferred beverage. Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah, that's right. It is Chris, the one and only. Often imitated but never duplicated. If I have a good, great, excellent guest that I want to bring up on the stage. He's backstage right now. He's got a smile on his face. I can see him. He's got his Carhartt beanie on. Jason
What's up?
Torres.
What's happening?
How'd you like that intro? Was that a
It
good
was
intro?
pretty nice. I liked it. Yeah. Apparently, I'm sponsored by Carhartt now. You're the second person to have brought that up. It's also cold. We were
It is
talking
cold.
about this prior. It's 14 degrees in New York currently, and it costs a lot of money to keep a house warm.
Yeah, it does. Sure does.
So your boy would rather pay a little bit less and wear a few more layers to be warm. So yeah.
Nice. Carhartt's a Michigan brand.
I did know that actually.
Okay.
So I'm surprised you don't have a lot of Carhartt.
Oh, I do, but I'm already rocking
Oh, there you go. Yeah, speaking
the
of,
red
I
one.
was curious about the hat. Tell me about the
Yeah.
hat.
So this hat is those are laces,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Yeah. Oh
then
yeah.
you got the the D right there.
Oh yeah. Show us the D.
There it is, right there. And then you got there's exclusive gear. Oh, where's Hockey Town? It's in there. You can't really see it.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, it's a dope hat, and I love wearing it. And I usually wear it during hockey games. I have a headband that I wear, a Red Wings headband, and I put it there, and I
Ooh.
put this over it like that, and then it shows through. It's pretty dope,
Oh nice.
coordinated. So
Freaking Billy Badass over here.
we try, we try.
Roxy wants to know where she should be watching this. Where should they be watching? Where should they be tuning in from, Chris?
Twitch would be great. Give us a follow on Twitch. You can watch it on the Tux Care YouTube,
The Tux Care Facebook, I see.
Tux Care Facebook, Tux Care LinkedIn. You can watch it all over the places. Yeah, you can follow Tux Care on Twitter, right there. We're still working on some Twitter stuff. For some reason, we're having issues with it getting streamed there. But YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and then here on Twitch.
Amazing. Oh, Roxy had ads. She must be on mine then.
Yep, it is. Yep, because I can see everybody's LinkedIn or linked to your Twitch.
Someday I'll get that figured out, guys. Someday.
Let's see here. So, yep, that's what's going on, which is all good. We got people in the stream. Jason, tell all of our viewers, besides the ones that are in the chat, who you are, what you're all about, where you work, what you do.
Ooh, what am I all about? So, hey, everybody that doesn't already know me, I'm Jason Torres. I'm a community manager over at torque.dev, a global community. We're essentially an overglorified talent marketplace. We have jobs, we have clients with roles, and we help them fill those roles. But we can't give, our tagline last year was sort of, we can't give everybody a job on our platform. We only have X amount. The reality is, most people don't qualify for the one potential role out of the millions of people on the platform. So we try to provide other resources. So we've put together resume reviews and LinkedIn reviews. We have a mentorship program. We try to bring community around the idea that the job hunt doesn't have to be as complicated, and you should struggle better together. And that's kind of where the whole community directive for Torque started. I spent 15 years in the film industry. I know some people are well aware of that, so I apologize for the redundancy, but pivoted into tech after that and just haven't looked back since. We've just been moving. Last year was pretty crazy. Lots of conferences. Got to hang out with you a few times, which was awesome. And this year's shaping up to be about the same. Not as many as you, but we're still going to be out there in the trenches with everybody. Yeah, happy belated Community Manager Appreciation Day. I did not know that was even a thing.
That's a thing. That's a thing.
Yeah. What do you, let me ask you a question because I'm curious on your take as far as where community management falls in an org.
Community management, since we are going to be talking about community, it's definitely DevRel,
Okay.
100%. So when we talk about DevRel, and I don't know if we've talked about this prior, but I know many people have heard me say it. I don't consider DevRel a team, right? It's a mission, and there's like when people's, I don't know. I'm very particular with words.
Yeah.
So when people say, "Oh, are you a DevRel?" I will tell people, "No, I'm not a DevRel. I'm a developer advocate. I'm not a
Yeah. I
DevRel,
mean, the
though."
term developer relations isn't a physical person, that's an
Right,
act. It's
right,
like a role. Yeah.
right. And so, like, the mission of DevRel is one thing, and I mean, yes, at the end of the day, it's a team, but there are multiple roles under developer relations, and
Hmm.
community manager is an extremely important role that falls underneath that. So, like, I'm doing all of the things because, like, I'm head
Yeah.
of DevRel now, so I'm doing community management, I'm doing advocacy, I'm helping out with our field marketing events manager. It's like I'm doing all of those things,
Hmm.
but community management itself definitely would fall under DevRel, and I roll under marketing, which I think is a good thing. There's different trains of thought. People think that rolling
Sure.
under like product is good. People think that rolling under engineering is good. I personally think being under marketing is good because marketing understands that they have to get to the hearts of the developers. Whereas, eh, in my experience, it's been swayed where it doesn't matter about the community if you roll under product or engineering, but it could
Sure.
change for company to company.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's all contextual. I mean, each org kind of practices and has a different chain of command for all of it. Roxy said, I guess it's more like you are in DevRel as a developer advocate. Um, I, I don't even think it's like that's the action. Your developer relations is like a person can't be developer relations.
Right.
You are a developer advocate. The act is the developer relations. You got to change your title, by the way. You're still a senior developer advocate. You're not that
Oh,
anymore.
jeez.
Come on, man. You got
I'm
the
just gonna put uh person at TuxCare.
person person
Person.
at a place. Um,
Person at a place.
okay, so just kind of on that same train of thought, then, when you've seen community fall under different areas, because a lot of it typically does end up under marketing, I think, and it's kind of separate from developer relations or development. How have you seen it done really wrong? Like, what are some things that people just absolutely suck? Like the practices, like some things that they're implementing. I'm really trying to like narrow down like what some of the best practices are, and then
Mhm.
understanding why some things didn't work or missed the mark. And I think a lot of it does also come from that, like where the chain of command starts and what their goal is for
Yeah.
that community.
I think one thing that I've seen issues with, and like I've proactively not done because I've seen and just read the issues, is not having a community, uh, but starting an online community without having a community.
Mm,
And what I mean by that is if you don't have a community to cater to, and this kind of goes to content as well. Like I'm not a big believer in creating and throwing a bunch of content out there for a non-existent community
yeah.
because at that point you have nobody to consume it. If they don't
Yeah.
know who you are, there's no one to consume that content.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but I think like starting up like Slack and Discord and stuff like that without actually knowing who the community is and knowing where that community exists, I think can just create a bunch of trouble. Because there's organizations I worked at that had great community, but then there's companies I've worked at where like we've thought about doing like a Discord or a Slack.
Hmm.
And when you look back at it, it's like, okay, but where is that community at though? Like, who is responding to our Twitter posts? Who is commenting on LinkedIn? Who's commenting on YouTube? Like, is anybody doing that first off? Because if nobody's doing that, then it's going to be extremely hard to get engagement within a Slack or a Discord. And it's even harder when you don't have a free product, right? Because there's
Oh, yeah.
companies out there that don't have free products, but they want to have a community. It's like, okay, well, if the people in your Discord, the community that's in your Discord or your Slack are having issues because their payment won't process for their subscription, that's not building community. That's support,
Yeah, I
right?
was going to
So
say
like
that's definitely support.
so I mean that's a big thing. I think that's probably one of the biggest things. And I think another thing too is, wanting to build a community yet you don't have a budget to build a community. Right,
Mm,
because like what y'all are doing at Torque is great. You have meetups at conferences, and you're sponsoring various things, and you're doing things, and you're traveling. Like I've seen you and Taylor go around. You have to have money to do those things,
yeah.
right? And you got to entice people to want to come in and build that community. But at the end of the day, if oh well, I want to run a happy hour at this conference. Oh well, I don't know if we have the money to do that. Okay, then how do you plan on
Yeah.
it's a small piece. It's a very, very small piece of the pie, because you got other people out there that are very, tech first, community second type people. I'm sorry,
Sure.
I'm not in the business of dev tech. I'm in the business of DevRel. So
Ooh,
yeah.
there's a sound bite.
So and then I can't even attribute that to me. My buddy Shar, who, if I don't know if you've ever met Shar before. He's a developer, DevRel lead, dev advocacy lead at Oracle, and actually going to see him next week in Sweden. We
Nice.
were in conversations a couple years ago, and we were talking about he's very community focused. If
Yeah.
you follow him on Twitter, he's always wishing people happy birthday in the Java community, community members doing Java stuff, and he said, we're not in the business. Once you start focusing too much on the technology and moving away from the community, you're in the business of dev tech,
Mm,
and we're in the business of DevRel.
yeah.
So yeah,
I think that's an important distinction. I think that's where it sort of gets lost in the sauce with the business side of it,
hmm
is they're trying to sort of blur that line because they have a product that they're
yeah,
trying to sell. That's what the business is. But you need people to sell it to. You need people to give it positive feedback and positive support. That's the community. But I think when people start to look at community as a sales opportunity and not like just a support system, like you said, that's where the wheels fall off of it.
yeah,
And people know when you're trying to sell to them, and not just there to support them. And I get that ick. I hate that. I mean, that was one thing that I talked about very early on with Taylor and Bree and everybody else on the team. Like, I never want to get into a sales role here. Like, that is not
right,
what my goal is. I think there's a way to do it authentically and bring people in because, again, and Taylor does this very well, the vibes. Like, people want to be around a positive experience. I think it's interesting that you brought up the paid product thing because a lot of places I feel like are kind of removing the free tier. How does that affect community?
it makes it hard to
Yeah.
do, try the product. Like you're talking about this awesome thing, like at the booth or whatever. You're showing demos. People want to get involved. Oh
Mhm.
well, we don't have, you know, a free plan,
Yeah.
which it can be a bummer. Like if you're working on things, that's great, but like there's companies out there that just don't have like even just a small plan. And most of the people that are going to be trying this out are developers, and they're not going to
Mhm.
want to pay for it, right? But your developers are going to pass that information off to check signers. I call them check signers. And they're the ones that are going to want to try the product first, but unless they have like a budget or like they have to put in a request to purchase something and then just try it and they don't like it, then you got to have other kind of things in place where, okay, well, hey, if you do try this, we'll give it to you for 30 days or whatever. Try it for 30 days, and if not, we'll give you the money back and cancel whatever.
Yeah. I think Roxy said something about talks where it feels like they're selling product. Um, yeah, that's hard. I think that that's also a shift in conferences and how companies are like justifying sending people.
Hmm.
Um, because you've got to talk about the product if you expect the company to pay for you to be there. I think that's sort of how it's looked at, especially with leaner budgets. But I will say to this guy, are you on this side of the screen? Or wherever the
I'm on
hell you are,
that.
this guy does a really good job. That talk you gave at Magnolia, I mean, it was so lightly peppered in there, but it was still like obviously you're discussing certain aspects of product and use cases, but it didn't feel like that.
Yeah,
Like it was a very honestly, that was the first time I've seen you do a talk. I was like floored. It was fantastic.
appreciate it.
No,
Well, that's the thing.
seriously.
That's the thing with DevRel is like we're not in the business to sell, and we're not technically supposed to be doing talks about our talks unless it's like a sponsored
Mhm.
talk. And there's different levels of sponsored talks. Like you can have a sponsored talk where you get a talk that comes along with your sponsorship package, right?
Yeah.
It's not expected that you're supposed to be talking about your product or anything like that. But then you have a sponsored talk that comes with your sponsored
Mhm.
package where you can talk about your company and your what your products are, stuff like that. So like I just came back from Code Mash a couple weeks ago, and Code Mash is an event I've been doing for over a decade now.
Mhm.
And you get a sponsored talk along with your sponsorship.
Oh,
That
nice.
sponsored talk is 9 times out of 10, you're going to be talking about your company. You're going to be talking about what you do. Because every sponsored talk I've been to at CodeMash, or like when I've sponsored for other companies and we've had to do a talk, you go in, you talk about company X, what we do at company X, why we do what we do, our history, stuff like that. Now, I've had to do a talk in London last year that was a talk that came along with our sponsorship,
Mhm.
but it was a talk that I would do. Like it was talking about like node modules and transitive dependencies. And I did throw in a little bit of how TuxCare can fix those things. And then I pulled it right, I got out of that and I just went
Yeah.
back to a generalization because that's what we're there to do. Now I've seen people pull it off where they can talk about their company and their products in a talk and no one says anything about it. I don't want to overstep that.
Mhm.
And the people that do it, I give them mad props for being able to do it. But there are people in the community as well that are big speakers and are extremely knowledgeable, and people just love them. So I think it's like, oh, that's fine. The talk is really great, and they just talk about their stuff a little bit. That's fine. It's not a full sell. Um, but yeah, nowadays, I mean, I wouldn't want to go to a conference and all I'm talking about is product, 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 product,
Mhm.
because developers don't want to be sold to.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's where I feel like it's leaned a lot into recently over the last couple of years, and that's why I went to this conference here up in Rochester back. I don't even remember when it was. It was sometime in December, I think. No sales. It was just like people coming together to have talks about AI, but in different industries. Like there was a mediator, like a mediating counselor or what, I can't remember what her exact title was, but when people are like going through divorce or separation and
Mm-hmm.
everything, and talking about how AI tools are starting to sort of be used in that field, or like how they're interested in learning more, or in the medical field. Like there was somebody that worked at one of the medical centers here that they talked about a study that they put together using AI, and it built this whole Epic platform where doctors could then get their whole like day's worth of logs or reports for each patient, and it ran automated every morning, and it's like nobody's trying to sell anything, like they're just enjoying what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. Wait, are you talking about that conference? I had to step away. No, I'm not talking about that conference. um, I don't know what specifically that one was. the therapist, Clark's therapist. Yeah, that was also a good talk. I don't think that was really AI, but that was an AI conference, but really just around AI, not around a specific product. There was no, there were no developer advocates there or people from companies like talking about anything. And I feel like there's still a place for those types of conferences
Mhm.
that, still had sponsors. Like there were still like little 10-minute sponsors come up and just talk real quick, but it felt like natural. It didn't feel like those like icky
Mhm.
developer advocate talks sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I've popped into talks that were, selling, selling, selling. It's like, I want to hear about cool stuff and like problems and solutions. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because let's look at that from like the community lens. Like, what does the company think, or where's the company right then when they're making the people do that? Like,
mhm,
how does that sort of reflect on where the company is if these people feel like they have to get out there and really start shilling? Like,
yeah,
maybe the community's not flowing, maybe they're trying to grow it, but I don't think that's the way to do it at all. I feel like that's
no,
actually detrimental.
yeah. There's ways to do it, right? Like sponsoring an event is great. Like
Hmm.
sponsor an event, do a raffle at your booth. Like we do raffles all the time.
Hmm.
Have cool swag. Like it's just have meaningful, organic conversations.
Yeah.
Build that trust. Like that's how you build a community is by building trust. And you violate that trust and you destroy that reputation.
Mm.
It's extremely hard to build that back up.
Yeah.
Um, but having those great conversations at a booth or a happy hour or a breakfast or lunch like that, I always say community is not built in a breakout room.
Hmm.
It's just not. It's not built in a breakout room.
True.
The learning is happening in the breakout room,
Yeah.
but the community is built in. And you and I talked about this when I did verbose mode in
Oh
Mississippi.
yeah. Yeah.
Community is built in the hallways, right? The hallway track and the
Hmm.
lunches and the breakfasts, right? Or what we were calling the table track. You and I were calling the table
Yeah.
track at
Yeah.
Magnolia, right? Because there wasn't really a hallway. But
Yeah.
you made a great, and Roxy's in the chat, and you made a point about community and how small and intimate that Magnolia is.
Yeah.
But because it was so small and intimate, a person like myself, or a person like Roxy, or a person like Kayla or Richard or anybody was having conversations with people they probably would never have a conversation with at 1,000 person event,
Hmm.
or even
Yeah.
pass by that person at 1,000 person event or 2,000
Exactly.
person event,
Yeah.
right? So that's where that community is built. Now Roxy has made connections at a granular level with people she would otherwise not see at a bigger, you know,
Yeah.
atomic, molecular, whatever the level.
Yeah. No, you're right. And I think that there's like space for both those types of events, but they work in tandem. Like you need
Yeah,
both. It's like you need introverts and you need extroverts to have a functioning community. They work with each other. So it's like you might meet somebody in passing at Render and see them out afterwards and have a brief conversation. But then when you link back up with them at a smaller conference or event, and then you actually have the opportunity to talk and like have a good conversation, like that's where the connection's made.
yeah,
Um, and I love that. That's why I feel like conferences like that, we'll call it like a little boutique conference where it is a little more smaller and
yeah,
intimate. Um, can have so much value in your career or for just building community. Again, like somebody like myself going to one of those things, like Torque sponsored some of it, but I actually personally donated to sponsor to that as well because I wanted to make sure that stuff like that happens for people to make those connections and have those chats.
yeah. I did that many moons ago. We had a conference here, and I was part of it. I was on like the sponsor team. I was actually
Hmm.
I was the sponsor team. It was called Self Conf,
Hmm.
and it happened at the original ones. I got started when they started doing them at the casino. So they would run them at Motor City Casino, and then they would have it. I think one year we did it at Greektown, or 2 years we did it at Greektown Casino.
Hmm.
we had, amazing people come in. Brianna Wu did a keynote one year,
Oh wow.
and I was running a meetup. I was running a View meetup called View Troit, and I donated and sponsored out of my own money to for View Troit to sponsor because I wanted to see that going. Like
Yeah.
I didn't have sponsors for View Troit. Like everything I was doing for that meetup, I paid out of pocket for. The food, the stickers,
Yeah.
the event space if I had to use it. Which back in the day, I mean, you could use event space and not have to pay any money. Nowadays,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
play hell trying to find anybody
Oh
that
yeah.
lets you come in and they won't charge you to run a meetup, which is
Hmm.
gnarly to me. But back in the day, you could go anywhere in Detroit and nobody would charge you a dime to run a meetup, which now it's totally changed.
Oh yeah.
But I paid out of my own pocket, so I and View Detroit could sponsor SelfConf and keep it going, so they could have money to keep things moving. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm all for that. If
Oh
you got
yeah.
the extra dough and you can
Yeah.
throw it at a conference, even $100.
Hmm.
I mean, conferences can always use money.
Oh yeah,
So,
for sure. But that's also just a testament to like how you build community.
yeah,
Like we support Magnolia. That is a community in itself. Like all these communities just are Venn diagrams too. There's so many people that are in our circle that are in all these other communities, and when they speak highly of them, the experience was positive. You also then want to engage in it, and I think again that's where a lot of companies really miss the mark because the focus becomes too much on the product and how the people interact with it, not the people and how they like vice versa.
right.
So that would definitely be like my one thing that I would love to see more people doing this year as far as like community side is focusing more on what the people want and what they need and not what your product needs.
Yep, and that's that. You have a good point too. Because when I was at a company I was at prior to being at TuxCare, they wanted I was working with another team entirely, and that's a lot of building community internally as well.
Mhm.
DevRel is not just about external;
Yeah.
it's very much internal as well. Empowering the people that you're working with. Guiding them and talking about best practices and bringing feedback from the community, and that's kind of where I'm kind of leading into this. They
Mhm.
wanted to create a bunch of content and do campaigns around what they thought they needed to do.
Oh,
And I'm like, well, wait, wait, we gotta pump the brakes here. What does the
yeah.
community want from this? It's not what we want to do because we're gonna do is we're gonna throw stuff at the wall and hopefully it sticks. We need to understand what the community wants from us first. So I put together polls for LinkedIn and Twitter. Like I worked with the team and I got like a question and a handful of answers and like the overall arching goal of like what the business unit goal was, what the organization goal was, and took that to Twitter and LinkedIn, put out a poll, ran it for 5 weeks or 5 days or 7 days, whatever the case may be. Took all that data, compiled it into like a format that was consumable for the team I was working with.
Mhm.
And then they based their roadmap of content and their campaigns off of that data. Like
Yeah.
that's the way it should be. Don't
Yeah.
just start thinking what you want. Like if you have some of that data kind of already in a spreadsheet or something from the community, cool. But to know what they want as like in real time, go to social media, go to those online communities like Reddit or Dev2 or wherever there's like a forum and
Mhm.
ask, hey, if we were to put something out on this product, what do you want to see? Or what is your main pain point with this general thing? And then give
Yeah.
a bunch of answers. Like, what is your database of choice? Postgres, you know, uh, Mongo, MySQL, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. We have a product that links with that. So now we know, oh, all these community members, they really love using Postgres the most. Well, maybe we should focus on content or a campaign
Mhm.
around our product that is integrated with Postgres
Yeah.
instead of just doing it with like Mongo or MySQL or anything like that.
Yeah. I mean, we're as community managers or developer advocates, anybody that's like front facing is that first line of defense for any communication that's coming in. And I think, again, that's where the whole thing sort of gets misinterpreted or kind of miscommunicated from org to community like you need to be listening. And the one of the biggest things that I think is missed by a developer advocate or community manager is being able to communicate what the community's needs are, because that's a very important role, is figuring out what the issues are, figuring
Yeah.
out how to communicate that to the internal team, and then disseminating that information back in a way that the community wants. Like
Right.
that whole piece in between, I think rarely happens, especially at larger orgs. Like they don't give community management or developer advocates the power to do those types of things.
Right. Yeah, I fully agree.
I do love when the community asks a ton of questions, especially when I'm trying to get something specific done on a stream and I get asked a bunch of random questions. Good call. Thank you, Roxy.
What kind of random? What is the funniest safe for
Oh,
work random question?
dude, I don't even know. I'm sure Roxy remembers when Roxy dropped something in the chat. I can get so derailed sometimes when I'm in the middle of something, especially on a stream, and then I look at the chat, and it's usually pretty active, like this, and stuff just starts popping in. Yeah, speaking of Chip, yeah, as soon as they start talking about my dog, because he's not allowed to make guest appearances on the stream anymore because he always pees up here. Um, yeah, see, like that, and then it's like, all right, where were we? Everybody loves Chip. I actually am creating a digital Chip. He's currently
Oh,
back there. This is a Moltbot dashboard running on a Linux computer that's back there that I talked to in Discord, and this is what it created for itself as an avatar.
what Linux distro are you using?
It's Ubuntu, like 22 or something. I don't know, whatever the most recent iteration of that is. It's
Okay.
running as a Plex server. And then I was like, well, it's just sitting back here. Like I could totally mess around with some version of, I had it Claudebot before they turned it into Moltbot, which is stupid. But I guess
I don't
for
know how
legal
y'all are doing
reasons,
this AI stuff. I haven't jumped on the train. I don't know if I'll ever jump on this train.
I'm going to tell you something. You don't need to. That's the thing. Like my biggest issue recently is like I get the FOMO of it, but whatever is this thing, this movement where people are buying out all the Mac Minis of the stores and setting this up, like I got the whatever this little computer is that's back there for free that they were throwing away at a previous job. It's just a tiny little like i5. Um, that's it, and it runs fine. Like I don't you don't have to follow, like you can dabble, but you don't need to follow the whole flock of sheep. Like just
Yeah.
work with what you have, because also the other thing is it's good, it's coming up, it's going to go down, and then
Yeah.
it's just going to be e-waste.
Right.
So it is kind of fun though. I gave him a personality and I can talk to him in the Discord. Like I have my own chat with him, and he's very spicy. So
That's
he like
funny.
talks back to me. Um, yeah, T3 chat I've heard is great. I'm using ZAI, which is its own separate thing, which I guess speedwise is comparable to Claude 4 or whatever. I don't know. I haven't tried T3 chat. I might check that out though. What do you
One
use,
thing,
Chris?
I don't use anything.
Nothing.
Like, no. If I'm writing code, I'm just scaffolding out on my own and writing it myself.
Well, let me ask you this. What
Like
would
I
be
use Gemini for like some writing
There you
stuff,
go.
or
Yeah.
like to answer questions I don't
Yeah.
feel like Googling,
Yeah.
but that's it. Like, so Jeff Blankenberg, which Jeff,
Yeah.
because Jeff and I both worked at DO. He wrote, let me find it. I gotta remember what I'm on here. I'm on day 5. I am going to content. What is it not working? This should work for people. It is called. That is weird. It's not even working. Hold on.
That's not good.
No, it doesn't make any sense either why it's not. Let me check out his Twitter and see. Jeff Blankenberg.
So you can, while you're looking for that, you can think about this too, because the reason I was bringing it up and the reason that I dabble and a lot of the AI stuff isn't even for code, um, which usually I'll wireframe something out with Bolt if I have to like add APIs or
Hmm.
endpoints and stuff like that. I'll do that on the back, but I can spin something up really fast and then work on it in PHP Storm. But I use it for a lot of productivity stuff on like the community manager side. Like I have a whole dashboard of stuff that I'll go into in different chats, like for my ambassador email every week or my newsletter, just keeps ideas. I can bounce ideas off of it. It keeps things organized, which I've found very helpful.
Hmm.
And a little bit more efficient. So that's why I'm wondering from your side, like from a DevRel, like what could you potentially be using it for? Because maybe there is something.
I'd have to think about it. I mean, coming up with ideas for certain things, if my brain's not working,
Mhm.
it's probably something. Um, I help it. I use it for coming up with cool ideas for just like writing shit, like um, talks. Like if I'm having issues, like if I
Yeah.
got like a block with talks, like hey, I'm trying to write this talk. Like, what are some cool like titles or something like
Mhm.
that?
Oh, yeah.
But
That's one of the best things to do, even just to kinda get you out of that writer's block. Um, Sometimes they're not great ideas, but, I've used it for helping me, like, build reports. It's like, "Okay, I want to create a weekly report that I can enter our Discord member data into," and it puts that whole thing together. So just automating some of those things for myself has been super helpful for me
yeah,
too. Um, and I think again, it's not going anywhere. So figuring out the best ways to sort of implement it into what I'm doing day to day has been pretty helpful.
yeah.
Um, and my dog's here, and he won't pee on the
There
on
you
the
go.
floor.
There you go. So this right here, I for some reason it's the website's crashing on my end. Hopefully it doesn't crash for anybody else. But it's 31 days of vibe coding, and Jeff created this, and he built a whole entire. He's big into card collecting,
Oh yeah, yeah.
sports cards. So like this whole entire series he wrote, he built a website called collectyourcards.com. It's got over 900,000 cards in it,
Damn.
and he built it all with Claude. And he kind of does like a breakdown of like getting started and how to do certain things and like his process.
Hmm.
So I might try to jump on the Claude train because I have a couple ideas of some things I want to build, and
Hmm.
they've been on the back burner for a very
Sure.
very long time. So I might jump into that and see what I can do.
I don't think I don't think it's a bad idea. I mean, again, this has been out now for a couple of years, so as far as iteration wise, like it's very good. Um, and you're very skilled. I think that's the one thing a lot of people miss is prompt efficiency. But when you are a senior level developer, your understanding of what you're trying to achieve helps you with a deeper technical acumen on how to like create those prompts to streamline that. So I think you'll be able to get to that end goal before a lot of other people would be able to, where they're kind of fumbling and tweaking things. And then you can
Yeah,
always import it out. If you were to use like even just V0 or Bolt, like you just take that repository, like get your basic thing created, and then go from there. It'll at least save you some time.
yeah.
So,
The one thing I want to talk about before we split and
oh
end
yeah, yeah.
this is shifting back to community.
Hmm.
You last year, and this is something that you do, and it was your birthday. Last year, you ran a streamathon, a community streamathon
Yeah, that was
at
nuts.
Christmas. Tell us a little bit about that. And will
Sure.
you be doing it again this year, or are you going to do like another iteration of it, somewhere else in the year, or are you just going to stick with your birthday month of
So
December?
fantastic question. Just to give a little context for that too. So years ago, my brother and I used to do what we called the 12 Days of Torres, which was a local event. And for 12 days, we would do, people could buy like entries to win stuff. And then we'd have companies in the area donate items for us to just give away. And then all the money we'd give to the homeless shelter, the open door mission that's here. So we had been doing that for years. With my traveling and stuff, it ended up being difficult a couple of years, and we kind of fell off, and then COVID and yada yada. So when I got back into a position where I had a little bit more money and some free time, um, I started doing it. I did one like 2 years ago, and again, it was pretty smaller scale. I didn't even really. It was like an hour, and we just did a bunch of giveaways. And then last year, I did another one. It was just a couple hour stream. We did a bunch of giveaways, but this year, I just really wanted to do something crazy. Um, I I don't even know why I came up with the idea, but and also I don't think I could do it again. I could do 12 hours, but
Yeah.
24 was brutal.
So that was, dude, that was a lot. Like I went to
Yeah,
bed and then woke up and you were still
yeah,
streaming. I'm like, this
yeah, dude.
dude
I
is
was
a
delirious. It
beast.
was yeah, it was
Did you
nuts.
take a to break on that? Did you
Yeah.
take a break at all? A couple hours, like, or was it a continuous? You were on camera streaming because you had to take a nap, you had to shower and eat.
So, fun fact, I did sort of, and Roxy can attest to this because I think she was on the stream at the time. It was somewhere around like 6 a.m. I
Of course,
think.
Roxy was on because she wakes up at 4 in
Yeah,
the morning and starts working
exactly.
like a monster.
Yeah, I had Home Alone playing. So Home Alone was on, and before I had moved everything around in here, I had a big like bean bag, and I slept on it for like 40 minutes, I think. And then I took one shower. I did take one shower at one point. I don't remember when it was. I ran downstairs, just and then came back up, and that was it.
I remember when you did that because
Yeah.
like you
Okay.
were gone for like 2 minutes and then you came back up. You're like, I
Yeah.
just took a shower. Yeah, I just like
Yeah.
jumped in the water.
Yep, got a second wind. But yeah, like I feel like it inspired a lot of people. It excited a lot of people. Like even just to watch my like deterioration of mental facilities over the 24 hours. Could do that. I honestly don't even remember some of it because it was just so tiring.
Hmm.
Um, but it was fun because you know what? Like it brought people together.
Yeah,
We shared a ton of really great stories from yourself and Danny Thompson and Corbin, just like all the people that came in and just shared time with us. Um, yeah, it was special, and people still. I mean, you're talking about it now. Like people are still talking about it. I definitely will do something again this year around my birthday because it's a Christmas thing,
yeah,
um, but probably 12 hours. I'll go like 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. or something. Do something weird like that because I also want to make sure that it's global. Like I want to make sure
hmm,
people in other time zones are able to get to it. Yeah, Roxy didn't win anything. I'm sorry. And I want to plan ahead. Like I want to get ahead of it this year and get more like companies involved, more people involved so we can get some like cool stuff to give away. Like we did give away a lot of really nice stuff, but there's
yeah,
more. There's more.
yeah.
There's always more.
There's always more.
Yeah.
All right,
So, and,
brother.
and that's important for me,
Yeah,
just as somebody that's managing community, like I want to give that back. So,
right. Well, before we end it, I got one question for you. If someone is your advice, if
yeah.
someone is looking to get involved in a community, and it doesn't matter, it
Hmm.
could be a micro community. Like the one thing that's cool about our community as a whole is there's multiple micro communities, right? I've met people who are into the paranormal and people who fish and
Mm,
people who play paintball
yeah.
within this. Like I've made friends with these people who are also technologists, they're coders, they're conference speakers, but they also do all the other cool stuff that I do, which is those little micro
Yeah.
communities. If someone wants to get involved in a community and they haven't found the community they're looking for, generally,
Mhm.
what one piece of advice would you give them?
Go ask your friend. Like, go talk to someone. Like, I don't think that there's anybody out there that is completely isolated anymore. Even if they are, I feel like there's other steps that they have to work on first to get to this point. But for you, you fish. I'm sure you have a couple people that you fish with. I'm sure one of those people is connected to some other people that fish. And that's again like kind of the domino effect of community. It's like this person knows a person that knows a person, but the first step is asking like, hey, do you guys know of any sort of forums? Like, you talk to anybody else about fishing or, or,
Right.
that's. that's where it's always going to start. Like communities, people. So you have to talk to people, find those shared interests, and go from there. So you're already the fact that all of you are here. I'm probably pointing the wrong way again. The fact you're all here, like you're part of this community. So reach out to everybody that's here. Like your common interest is you came here to listen to this. Follow up with them, connect with them online, like build off of that. But that's the first step is
Yeah.
talking to people.
Yeah. I love it. Make sure that you're talking to people, ask around.
Mhm.
You'll be able to find a community. That's all you got to do. Just talk to somebody.
Yep. They're out there, but you got to ask.
Jason, thank you so much for the time.
Thank
Is
you,
there anything
man.
that you no, thank you, man. You man or
You,
you
man.
man.
You, man.
You man. Is there anything that you want to plug before we end this? Twitter,
Yeah.
where you're gonna if you're gonna be on the road?
It looks like we'll be at All Things Open AI in March. Then I'll be heading down to Talentland in Mexico in April. From there, I'm not 100% sure, but you can see my Twitter's there. You can check out torque.dev. That is our job platform, and all the information on our Torque community is there. We've got a very crazy Discord. We do workshops and resume reviews and just networking. It's just a bunch of cool people. So definitely come and check it out.
Cool. I'm going to also plug some stuff here. Let me throw this up on the screen.
Do it.
Torque.dev for all of your recruiting. And I got to talk to you after this because I have a friend that's looking for a role. And she sent me her resume. And I said, well, I got a group of friends that'll do a resume review and try to help you. She's entry level.
Yeah.
So
let's go.
We need to talk after this. If you're not following Twitter, if you're not following TuxCare on Twitter, follow TuxCare on Twitter. Twitter.com/TuxCare_. If you're not following your boy, Twitter.com/SaltandBurnham. If you want to know more about TuxCare and all the cool stuff we do, head over to TuxCare.com. We do endless lifecycle support for end-of-life libraries and apps and frameworks. So if you are running older systems and there's no longer security patches by the community or vendors, we patch those libraries and frameworks for you, and we keep you patched. And we also have a product called Kernel Care, which is live rebootless patching for Linux distributions, which is pretty sweet. So tuxcare.com has all that information. We will not be streaming next week. I have to fly out to Phoenix tomorrow for Half Stack Phoenix. So if you're in the Phoenix, Arizona area, Gilbert, Arizona, come to Half Stack Phoenix. Your boy will be there giving a conference talk. And then I fly directly from Phoenix to Sweden for JFocus. So if you're going to be in Sweden, come and hang out with me at JFocus. The next stream will be the 11th of February with Thomas Bain, who cool cat. This is like the marketing director, all things marketing for a company called Vulncheck, which is a vulnerability company. I met him in London last year, actually. Really cool cat. So he'll be the guest on the next stream.
Nice. That'll be a good one. We'll safe travels, my friend.
Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. What did I say? TuxCare for the win. Thank you all, Chris. Bye. Thank you all for tuning in. Like I said, not next week, but the following week. Stay tuned to my Twitter. Stay tuned to TuxCare. And with that, we are out. Sound good?
Bye, everybody.